Hi, I'm Tad Radzinski, speaker, educator, and expert in corporate responsibility and sustainable product design. Thank you for joining us today. Our December series is going to be on materiality, prioritizing sustainability in your strategic business plan. Today we're going to be talking about identifying how corporate responsibility fits your organization. This is a key aspect of any sustainability initiative, is really understanding what's important to your organization in order to develop your strategy that is most effective for increasing your long-term sustainability, growing your market share, improving your customer satisfaction, improving employee retention. There's many things to consider when you're developing your sustainability strategy, and materiality is just one aspect of really understanding what things are most important to you. The Global Reporting Initiative identifies material issues as those topics that have a direct or indirect impact on an organization's ability to create, preserve, or erode economic, environmental, and social value for itself, its stakeholders, and society at large. If you notice there, this definition is very broad. It not only focuses in on the company and what's immediately important to the company, but it looks at a much broader range of stakeholders such as customers, investors, and then society at large. And if we think about sustainability, it's really about preserving the aspects of your company that are most important to your operations, but also understanding that anything you do in your company or organization has a much bigger effect on society as a whole. It's very easy for us to focus in on immediate issues within our company, but understand that everything we do has some effect to people that surround our facilities, to the global society as a whole, and all kinds of different things that we have to consider when we think about material issues. A simpler way to say this is really looking at what is essential to your business strategy and long-term sustainability of your organization. A lot of the companies we work with them to hone in on this, but we don't just think about what's important only to the company. We have to really understand what's important also to their key stakeholders, such as customers, like I said, stakeholders, employees, different things like that. Or if you're a nonprofit organization, if you have a certain mission you're working on or a certain aim of your organization, understanding what the key stakeholders are in that mission is really important. On this, and when you're thinking about materiality for your company, you got to remember you're thinking again about the triple bottom line, what's important to your economic, environmental, and social aspects of the company, and how are these material issues affecting your performance. It's not just about economics, it's not just about environmental or just social. If you recall, in this whole series, we've been really thinking about the triple bottom line and understanding how sustainability affects people, the environment, the materials you utilize, the capital, the money, all the different things that flow into and out of your organization. So really thinking about that is critical in balance with understanding your key stakeholders as well. I have a great example here of how Nestle looked at this. And as you can see in this graphic, basically Nestle on the y-axis basically looked at what was increasing concern to their stakeholders or customers or maybe their shareholders, and what was increasing or current impact on Nestle on the x-axis as you see here. So if you look at the way this graphic is set up, the very top corner is really the most critical issues to not only Nestle but also what's important to their customers and other stakeholders. Different things like innovation, packaging reduction, food security, various things like this. When we do our webinar this month, we'll definitely be talking in more detail about how to analyze these different things and really understanding how you can narrow in on what's critical to your stakeholders but also critical to the company. But this is just one example of how a company has represented this and shown what was important to them, and it's a good example. We do this quite often with many of our companies. We really work with them to, number one, understand what's important to them as an organization, but then we really identify what's driving their business strategy and critical to their key stakeholders. Stakeholders can definitely include customers, it can include employees, investors, different communities where you work. Basically, brand image is really driven by customers and perception. So it's important for you, as you develop your corporate responsibility program, to understand what's going to be most critical to these stakeholders. Stakeholders could also be government agencies, depending on what you do, or the media. If you're a company that gets a lot of press, or is high profile, and your name's in the paper a lot, or on social media, these things can definitely have a major effect on how you establish your sustainability program and different things you do within your organization. And let's not forget non-government organizations, nonprofits. If you notice, a lot of big companies work with different nonprofits and non-government organizations to establish partnerships to create change in systems. Whether someone's working on sustainable beef, or someone's working on preserving rainforest, or fair trade, harvesting of materials, there's usually a lot of partnership among NGOs. So stakeholders can be very broad. And again, when we do our webinar this month, we're going to really get into this in more detail. It is important, once you understand the materiality of your company, the most important things to the sustainability of your organization, to disclose this information. There's different ways you can do that through the Global Reporting Initiative. There's the International Integrated Reporting Council standards, their Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, different ways that you can communicate this, through, whether it's through information on a website, a formal corporate responsibility or sustainability report, or different means like that. We've had great success in working with companies to make sure they market these things and get that information out, whether it's through a sustainability report or on a website. And it is very important to tell the world the good things you're focused on and what you're doing, in order to show that you're focused on maximizing the sustainability of your organization and reducing your impacts on society as a whole. So I want to thank everybody for joining today. Next week we're going to be talking about creating sustainability goals that supplement your business strategy. So understanding what's material is important, so you understand the key roles, then you use that to develop your sustainability goals. And if you remember last month, we were talking a lot about benchmarking and evaluating supply chain and all that, and that all feeds into this whole process of developing an overall sustainability strategy and business strategy for your company. Our webinar will be on Tuesday, December 17th, and we will dive into this much deeper. Like I said, it's a great time to get on, to really ask questions. These webinars have been very good because we've had very specific questions from the audience, which has been helpful in addressing key aspects of what you're interested in. And please continue to subscribe to my blog to get my emails. Keep asking questions. We really appreciate that. And if there are any questions, you can reach me either through email, my website, or the blog. And don't forget, we have the webinar coming up on December 17th, so I look forward to talking to you then. Thank you, and have a great holiday.